Flora and Her Son is a Irish film set in Dublin. It's about a young mother by the name of Flora and her son Max, and their journeys and struggles with identity and growing up and emancipating themselves and just finding who they are. Themes of family and identity. Um, I think it's very focused on the kind of interpersonal relationships between this group of people in a sort of a like they're like a kind of a dysfunctional family in a way. It's like Flora as the mother, her son Max, and the tension in their relationship, but also the relationship that they both have with Max's father Ian, who's kind of estranged from Flora, but they sort of have a semi-functional relationship in how they, share him. And then, of course, you have this character, Jeff, who comes in, who's a guitar teacher from LA, and he's doing Zoom lessons with Flora. And so, it's about how all these people kind of are relating to one another, basically, and each finding their identity and their kind of reasons for doing what they do. I play Ian, who is Flora's ex, and he's Max's dad. And Ian's a pretty funny character, I don't think I'm playing him particularly earnestly, but he's like a guy who was in a band 10 years ago and he thought he was hot shit, but things didn't pan out, I think, the way that he had anticipated that they would. So I think he's somebody whose kind of ego has taken a couple of knocks, and maybe he wouldn't admit that to himself, but he's struggling with his own identity and struggling to find his reason for being, basically. Flora is the central character of our film, really, and she is a young Dublin woman who's kind of struggling with the challenge of raising her son as a single mother. And, I think she just kind of has the world on top of her a little bit, and she's trying to find an outlet for some of her frustrations, and she's trying to find a way to connect with her son and trying to find a way to connect with herself, basically. And she begins to explore all that and find ways to do that through music. When we initially meet Ian, it's very clear that they have a really standoffish relationship with one another. But I think that they're still kind of into one another in a way, and there's still an energy between the two of them, so that's really fun. I think it comes across quite humorously, actually. But as the film goes on, I think Ian kind of realizes what he's kind of given up in Flora and what he's kind of let get away, basically. But as we journey through the movie, I guess they each find a sort of a level in the relationship with one another, and there's a kind of a peace and a sort of a mutual respect and affection, and I think it comes through the music, but also through their love of their son, and that's something that they're always going to share. Whatever happens with their relationship with one another, that's something that they'll always see eye to eye on, is how they love this kid. I think the way music is used in the film is sort of symbolic of its ability to help people to express things in a non-verbal way, like, I don't know, I guess, having music as an outlet can just be incredibly cathartic, and it can be incredibly therapeutic for people. And I think that's a big part of the message of the film. I think for each of these characters, having the music and having the ability to, even if they can't play particularly well, just having the the ability to pick it up and to try with it, it sort of unlocks. I don't know. It just it kind of helps them to, I don't know. It sounds really wanky, but to kind of find themselves, you know. I mean, it feels obviously intrinsically Irish, which I love. I also think it's a very contemporary Irish story, uh, in a sort of a refreshing way. You know, it's nice to see a film about a young single mother who's like, you know, got this goal that she's striving for, and yeah, that she's kind of like pulling people in her life together to help her do it, even in the midst of all these complicated relationships that she has. And in that sense, it's a really heartfelt movie, but in what feels like a kind of a unique way.